Good day, YouTube. It is the 30th of May, 2021. Tomorrow, Memorial Day. This is the Mystery Machine. This is my 1965 Ford Econoline Supervan. This was the first year for the Supervan. The Supervan is it's about 1.5 feet longer than the regular Econoline van. It came with a upgraded suspension, heavier duty, 5-lug wheels, Ford 9-inch rear end. The big block 6-cylinder, yes, the 240 cubic inch, basically the truck 6-cylinder, was debuted in 1965, and I understand 500 Supervans were built in 65. I didn't actually purchase this van. I traded a motorcycle for it that I had built 25 years previously that I had bought locally for like $400. That motorcycle got backed into by someone at a local hardware store, and by the time his insurance company paid me for it, I was able to repair the bike on my own and put hundreds of dollars in my pocket to fix up other bikes that I had at the time. So the bike that I traded for this, I kept for 25 years, and basically I had no money in it. So I basically have no money in the Mystery Machine. The only things I've done with it, I've put a carburetor on it, brand new NOS Ford carburetor, put Pertronix electronic ignition in it, and I think alternator and, tune up and that kind of thing. So the van only has 47,000 original miles on it. It was a camper van, so it's kind of like a motorhome. It didn't see a lot of use. It's got the permanent raised top in it, so I could actually stand in here, just barely, but I can stand in here without bumping my head. And all the motorhome or camper van stuff was removed. It left some holes and so forth. I put an air conditioner in that hole over there, and obviously I built in a bunch of audio equipment. We'll go through this. I'll give you a up close and personal look at my setup in my mobile DJ vehicle. It has worked great for me we've had this van maybe about 10 years. It's been a DJ vehicle like 8 years, something like that, maybe 9. You're starting to kind of not remember. But we're going to do some upgrades to it today. I had bought this equalizer new on eBay or something, and it just doesn't perform that well. It works fine, but I think it needs an upgrade. I'm very into PV gear. As a vintage PV mixer, we're going to do a little bit of work with that today as well. And I do like my Electro Voice EV7100 amplifiers. I use them in both of my trucks. There's 3 in this truck, and in the step van, I think I have 5, maybe 6. Let's count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 5 in there, and there's a couple other brands, and they're just sitting there waiting to be changed out. I'll pick up a couple more of those. They have really good clean power, and they don't draw a lot of power, because I'm always running on generator, or in the case of this step van, I have batteries and an inverter. So these are, let me shut that door. I can show you what I got here. So these are the speakers that I carry in the Mystery Machine. I love these a lot. They're pretty heavy, but you're sitting them on the ground and you want some real sound. That's it. They're a TLS4X. I have some old videos on my YouTube channel rebuilding these. I bought these for $50, and then we had to put some speakers and do some stuff in them, and they've been just solid performers ever since. I take those wherever I go. They just fit through the door because they're pretty tall, so those are really good. I have 2 pairs of these SP5s. Right now, 1 pair of them is waiting in the step van. I'll show you why. I've carried these for a long time. I'm going to take these out. These are PSB. They're studio monitors. I've used them for small rooms and so forth, but I've been packing them around, and they're getting a little bit beat up, and I'm going to want to preserve these. So I'll take these upstairs here at the barn. And get them out of the truck for now, and I'll take them when I need them, but they've basically been riding around for years unused. So the SP5s are my favorite. They're Sheffield speakers, if you're familiar with PV speakers. I'm going mostly all PV, vintage PV. The PV speakers in the 15-inch that you're mostly familiar with are the Sheffields, which are what these have. Then you go up to the Scorpions, and then you go all the way to the Black Widows. Scorpions and Black Widows, you can change the baskets on them if you puke them. And you don't have to buy the entire speaker. The Sheffields, you do have to buy the entire speaker. They also make what I'm calling a Pro Series, which are kind of in line with the Sheffields. All sound really good. These have been super solid for me. I like them because of their size, their sound quality, and I can put 4 of these on my speaker tower and still raise it. It has a weight limitation, so I can't put bigger speakers than that on my speaker tower. This is it. So I have 4 of these. Then I have a couple, well, we have some other stuff in the step van we won't go into. I'll show you another pair that I recently acquired. So I bought a pair of PR15s, and these are plastic speakers. I don't like plastic speakers because I don't like the sound. However, PV does a very good job of making them sound good. I don't know what the difference is, but I can usually hear a plastic speaker from a mile away. But these actually sound pretty good. I need a pair of plastic speakers because I do outside events, and sometimes I do it in the rain. I can throw these on my speaker tower, even if it's raining a little bit, and they'll be fine. So I don't need to carry these through the summer, so I won't. So I'll pull these out, put the other pair of SP5s in the van, so forth. And I kind of was carrying some tuners that I don't need to carry all the time. I'm going to take those out, store them, and take them when I need them. They get beat up like that one. So I've got the van emptied of speakers and stuff, and we need to get in and start working on changing out that EQ. Alright, going to give you a little tour. So all my music is on computer MP3s. Say all my music. I've never actually taken the time to put everything on there, but yeah, I'll retire one of these days and we'll get to it. So from there, we're piped over to this mixer board. I don't know if that light's hurting or helping. I don't remember how to turn it on and off. Give me a moment. Come on, where's the switch? Let me find it. Oh, I found a lower setting anyway. So we're coming over here to this. This is an 800 PV. It's a stereo mixer. This thing is probably from 70s, is my guess. It's super cool. I love this thing. It's big, it's bulky. I made room for it. I made it fit. But I had just a little bit of issues with it that I'm hoping to figure out. I don't know that's an issue with the board itself. It's probably the operator, namely me. So I hope to dial that in today. From here we go to some splitters off to 3 amplifiers after the EQ. So the EQ is, like I mentioned, is something I'm going to change out today because I bought a PV. I think it's about a 231, so 2 channel 31 band EQ, so 62 adjustments. Anyway, we're going to change that out today and hoping for some improvements here. And then off to 3 amplifiers, both stereo. These are under 200, no, they're under 300 watts total. So roughly like 140 watts a channel, something like that. It's never been not enough. It's always been fine. I've never had issues where I needed more punch than that. People talk like, oh man, you just use really small amplifiers. I got a 3,000 watt. I said, well, I'll go up against you any day at an event like I do, and you tell me who would want to be anywhere near a speaker that was running at 3,000 real watts, if in fact that's what they are. So I have really a strong desire to maintain these amplifiers. I may buy a couple more. I don't know why. I don't really need them, but I'll keep buying them when the price is right, because they don't make them anymore. what else we got going on? So I have these are all wired up to on the outside of the van. There's 1, 2, 3 connections. Here's the back side of this connection where I basically have a receptacle cover. I'll show it to you in a little bit. You open it up and I can plug my speakers right in. Those are jacks located in the side of the vehicle. And my power inlet for all of this is located in the side of the vehicle, so I can plug in quick and go. What else we got going on up here? This is my wireless microphone. This is a Telex clear scan, but it's the same as Electro Voice. I can't remember the name of the Electro Voice. I have a dozen, 15 or so wireless microphones. There's 6 of them built in the step van, just 1 built in here. So I obviously just love these mics, and they do really good. I designed and built my own antenna, which is on the outside of the van, and I use my wireless mic when I'm at a car show, and I can be as far away as like 1/8 of a mile from my van and still communicate with the world. I love that. I love it. I love it. Here's my mic. Anyway, today's all about kind of making sure everything's still working, get this thing cleaned up a little bit, because it becomes a mess after a year of use. We didn't really use this much in 2021 or 2020, so now is the time to get things fixed up. So again, I have built my own external antenna for the wireless mic. I think I have a video on that on my channel. So for now, turn it off. You gotta hold that button in for a moment. There it goes. This is an FM stereo transmitter. It is 7 watt. I have an antenna on the outside of the van that I recently put on. It works very, very good. I can transmit a signal for miles. Hold your comments on that. I have a couple videos. Do a either YouTube search or a Google search for Glenn Speed Shop and Pirate Radio, and I'll show you a little more information about my pirate radio station, which is not this one, but it's here at my barn, and uses the same transmitter as this. That allows me to put speakers, a tuner, generator, etc., most anywhere I want it at an event, and pick up my signal, and it basically rebroadcasts. It's very, very handy for me. It was a game changer for me. I can now do things that most other DJs can't do, and it wasn't a huge expense. What do we have for a microphone in here? Well, you know, I'm a vintage PV fan. Let's get over here. This is, this is a Shure in this truck. I was trying to remember what I had here. This is a vintage Shure Super Pro. Okay, this was the predecessor to the SM58. Very good microphone. I like the vintage items. That's why this one's in here. I do have a PV microphone in the step van, and it also has a vintage PV mixer, a little bigger than this one. So that's a pretty good walkthrough of my van. Little driver's compartment. Things are a mess. Have stuffed Scooby Doos here and there. Just a couple fans to make things comfortable. I have windows that open up here. This is all at eye level for me. And all you gotta do is pull on it a little bit. So anyway, I can basically stand here and watch what's going on. Parades and so forth that I get involved with. So it's pretty handy for me. You can see I put windows in that vehicle at the same height because I've grown real used to having this. Speaker cables, I have some of them hanging on those clips, and some of my bigger or longer cables are on reels. I picked up a few more of those reels this weekend at a yard sale, actually. So a little area for junk up here, too dark to see. Tools, miscellaneous cables, cords, cleaning, cards, tickets. Yeah, lots of stuff. All right, let me get started. Get this little equalizer out of here. This amp looks like it's just sitting there. Yep, I need to get it screwed into place. Sometimes things happen quickly, and they never get mounted. And this is my opportunity. to get things fixed up. And then we'll get everything running and test run, and we'll plug something in and make something happen. Catch you back in a little bit. All right, this is the one we're taking out of Scooby today. And this is 3 of them that I've purchased recently. This is a Behringer. This is a smart equalizer. And I actually think I'm going to sell it because it's very, very complicated. It's not something I want to learn. And my concern is I'll get it all set, and then I turn the power off to the van when I go home, and then when I turn it back on, something might change, and I don't like that. These, you set them one time, and they're switches and slides, and they'll stay there. So I already have a DBX 231 in the step van, so I'm going to put this one in the step van. It's a big deal because I got to rearrange the whole rack, move everything down so I can put this by the other EQ and hook it all up. So that's for a different day. But this here's PV, and as I mentioned, PV is just something I'm kind of switching over to, especially vintage stuff. So this is not really old by any means, but it's not brand new. It's 2-band 31 channel. It's 2-channel 31 band. Excuse me. And the one we're taking out, I think it's 21 band, 2-channel 21 band. And I wasn't quite getting the gain out of that I had experienced before. So that's what I'm hoping to gain here. Plus, it's kind of an upgrade from a, kind of a made in Japan to kind of born and bred in the USA sort of deal. So in goes the PV. Let's get her installed. Right, I don't have a cameraman, so all I can do is set this up and hope that you can see a little bit. So my old equalizer connected to the system with RCA plugs, okay, which are these. You've seen them on the back of stereos and so forth. The new PV I'm putting in uses 1/4-inch mono plugs. All right, so I've got these adapters. Use these extensively, so you always need to have 15 or 20 of them. So we'll put these adapters on, and then I have 2 more back in here. They go up. They go up. Oh, there it is. I don't know if you can see it or not, but anyway, we use the red one and the white one. And these will be output of the EQ, input to the mixer, or excuse me, input to the EQ, output from the mixer. Gotta think about what I'm doing here before I do it. Now, let me rearrange a couple chords. I have moved the amplifier down to the bottom. Okay. Now, to get the signal from one mixer to 3 amplifiers, this is to 1 amplifier. I have a couple Ys back here going to the other 2 amplifiers. These are piggybacks. So I'm going to plug the piggybacks in like that. Okay. There we go. Now I've got 1, 2, 3 go into my amplifiers. All right. So from the mixer to the EQ, which will go here, from the EQ to the 3 amplifiers. All right. Let me see about getting the power cord routed down here somewhere. That's the wrong cord. That's the wrong cord. There we go. Now, it's always a fun part. Getting everything plugged in. Now it's on the other side of the equipment, of course. Now, we need to know ins and outs. So ins are on the left, outs are on the right. Boy, those are going to be tight. Darn it. It's alright, we'll make it. We'll make it. Output's connected. Alright, going right in your way. There's no way you can see. I won't allow it. Virtually blind. But we'll get there. Alright. Almost got one. One. And two. There we go. Let's pull that cord just a little. Right on. Now, we'll put some screws in it. Let me see where you're at now. So obviously I just built this out of wood years ago. No sense putting a bunch of money in this thing, is there? Let me find some screws left over from something. Alright, 4 screws. Now let's lift this up a little to about there. You got to give the amplifier a little room to breathe. We're going to give it about that much room to breathe. Try to center it. Not too tight for the moment. Not being super precise here. I think there was already a hole over there. Alright. There we go. Alright. So, we have the EQ installed and it is all connected, except for power for the moment. And another vintage PV piece of equipment is now installed. So let me get some kind of clean it up done in here and get the power connected. And we'll plug some speakers in, get some music that I can play on YouTube rolling, and I'll bring you back. I'll show you the passenger side. That's where I've got the speakers plugged in currently. There's 2 more speaker outputs from amplifier B right there. This is my power inlet. That's a Hubble 30 amp 120 volt. It's a stainless steel marine application power inlet, and right now I'm just plugged into the barn for the moment. Typically it runs on a generator sitting outside the van here, and then right there is amplifier C. You just pick them up. I've got jacks all isolated from ground and everything inside there, behind weatherproof, relatively weatherproof cover. I got the equalizer all installed. I wanted to take an hour, which I did, to kind of rearrange my mixer a little bit. I got to get a longer cord so I could route that one properly, but good to go for testing purposes. I got everything sorted. There is a couple channels on that mixer that don't give me left side for whatever reason or another, but I have enough channels that it works, and it works really good. I've done another video, and I might do another one in the future. The input to my FM transmitter up there that I showed you earlier, the reason I like this mixer so well is I can send a signal to my FM transmitter pre-EQ. That means the signal doesn't have any bass or treble amplification. It is simply the source level, and I can use one of my effects outs on my mixer board to adjust the level, but I don't send the signal to it that has bass or treble amplified. And what that means to me is, usually when I'm sending a signal via FM wire, or FM stereo broadcast, I have speakers plugged into amplifiers here. When I do that, I like to use the EQ not only on my board, but then this one's prior to the amplifiers also. So what that allows me to do is like turn the bass up and so forth, and we'll call it front of house speakers. And then my remotes, which are on my speaker tower, which is parked out here. If you've seen my other videos, you know that lift tower right there has this platform on it. I put 4 speakers on it and send it 20 feet in the air. If I'm in the middle of a downtown event, I can go a couple city blocks in all directions with decent sound, and it's not at 6 feet high in somebody's ears. So but if I send signal to my FM transmitter that's got bass or trebled amplified, then what I put out to my receiver at the tower is not very clear. The sound quality is poor. So with this mixer, because the one I had in here previously did not allow me the choice of going pre-EQ with an output signal. And that's very important for my broadcast. So I really love this thing. See if I can crawl in here one-handed. So like, here's one of the effects, pre or post EQ. I can send it pre-EQ, and I can tell it where to put it. And here's like reverb. This is pre or post. And this is my monitor, pre or post. This is huge to have these this way. This is the reason even though I got a couple channels that don't work properly on this, I love it for that reason, because my other choice mixer doesn't allow that. All right, so let's turn this non-copyright music on for a second. I got those big PBs running out there on the floor. So we're just idling here too. So my amps my 1 amp is on 3 on a scale of 10. I'm using channels 5 and 6, and I'm barely off of 0, and maybe 15-20% on my master volume. Very, very good. Very good. I need to take a day like this every year just to go through this and make changes and updates and things, so it's pretty cool. We'll shut that down for a minute. I'm going to continue working here, some boring stuff, and change this cable out something a little longer. I was experimenting with different things. Got her to go pretty good. Really good, actually. I got to show you my other one, seeing how we're got this in the video. Again, this is a 800 stereo mixer because it is 8-channel. And it is from probably about the 70s. I should look it up. I believe it's late 60s, early 70s. Let me show you the bigger one in the step van. So this is an MD16. This is a 16-channel PV mixer, probably similar vintage, maybe mid 70s, late 70s. That's my guess. If y'all know, let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate that. Everything works great on this. All the channels are working properly. It's definitely newer than the other one, but still vintage. This is real wood on the sides. I love it. And if I have a situation where I really got a lot to connect, then I do carry a 24 channel Yamaha, which I should have covered. It's getting all dusty, dirty. Time to clean it up. But the idea is I can drop my rear ramp down, set a table up, set the mixer up. I've got a couple snakes. I think I have a 12 channel and a 24 channel with 6 sends, I think. We can send up to a stage, do a band or whatever. Currently we're at 7 amps. We're going to back this down, taking these two out of here. I should just buy a couple more of these if there's some for sale. This is at DBX 231 that I have. I showed you the other one, which I need to move everything down and put it in right here and have the two EQs together. I know we're rambling. Another piece of PV gear in this crossover. This is an instrument preamp. Again, it's PV equipment, vintage PV equipment. And then this is a DI box here, 8 channel, yep. Again, love the 7100s. I will never go away from those. Try to buy a couple more. Should just go online, do that today, and be done with it, right? Right. All right, gang. That's my run through on my the Scooby van, the Mystery Machine, my mobile DJ vehicle. We got a little upgrade done today. We actually sorted some things out, feeling really good about it now. Sometimes I get a little depressed when things don't work just the way I want them to, but it's really about me taking the time to sort it out, and we did that today. So appreciate you coming along for the ride. Appreciate your comments. Give me a thumbs up on the way out the door, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.